Hey everyone, it's your boy Joseph.
And Carlos.
And this is
The Passenger Seat. All right. The topic we're going to talk about today is the XMen films, completing 20 years to be exact. And I know we're a little late because they technically completed 20 years in July, but still we wanted to talk about it today.
So we're going to be talking specifically about the films. So it's going to be XMen 1, 2, 3, First Class, Days of Future Past, Dark Phoenix, and Apocalypse and New Mutants. Technically, if you want to count New Mutants.
We'll sprinkle a little New Mutants on there, but we won't get that into it.
But yeah, I think we should start off telling our viewers, or explaining a little bit to them, who the X-Men are.
Yeah,
right?
Not a problem.
So, as most of you know, for those of you who don't know, X-Men is a superhero team comprised of these superhuman genetically modified.
They're mutants.
Yeah. So they were born with the X gene, which gives them these different mutations, different abilities, different powers.
I only wish.
Right? And, right. The dream of
every person.
The X-Men is led by Charles Xavier, otherwise known as Professor X. And they try to find peace and balance with humans because humans are racist. I don't know what the word would be for that.
I don't know what the word is for that, but
there's a lot of bigotry against the mutants.
Yeah, you're actually not wrong about that. When Stan Lee first wrote up the X-Men, he was thinking about the Civil Rights Movement with Martin Luther King and these people. So he got the inspiration from that.
Yeah.
Hopefully we gave you a little bit of a what would you call that?
Oh yeah, like a little info on the X-Men.
Yeah,
by the way, just because we don't want to leave this out, the X-Men's arch enemy is Magneto, who leads the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah.
And Brotherhood of Mutants have a different view on humans. They think they're a threat, and they want to eliminate humans in form of aggression. And then that's where the conflict comes in between the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants.
That's true. I guess we'll start out with X-Men 1.
X-Men.
X-Men. It's the one that started it all. The year 2000, man. That was crazy. It feels so long now. That's 20 years for us. I was, I believe, director Bryan Singer who brought out our first X-Men film. And as you guys know, it's probably the first major role that Hugh Jackman ever had.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, till this day, he's one of the best superhero actors.
Mm-hmm.
He's hands down Wolverine. Just a quick synopsis? Thank you. The film starts off with them trying to, recruit Wolverine to be part of the X-Men group. I think the team in the first movie only like Storm, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Jean.
Yeah.
And then they don't really they introduce like the kids in the house, but their team is only 4.
Yeah.
So Magneto has this plan to take over Statue of Liberty and turn every human into a mutant, and they try to stop them, which in retrospect,
it's not really a bad idea. Magneto can't. Listen, if I was there, I'd be like, yo, guys, listen, just let him have his way. I want to be a mutant.
I was going to say, like, if everyone's a mutant, wouldn't that just make, some people would use it for bad, but
yeah.
I
don't know.
I feel like it'd be fair. So that was the film that started. I remember watching that when I was a kid, though. That movie was amazing to me.
I did too.
You ever rewatched it? The CGI is just
terrible. But so were a lot of movies back then.
Yeah, it's funny when you see Wolverine's claws in that one because it's just like, whoa. It looks kind of, Yeah. Oh, I forgot Rogue is in that movie too. She plays a very important role because she was the one that he ties up to the top of Statue of Liberty because she uses her ability to make everyone a mutant, right. Which I guess is something that happens.
I'd tie up Rogue.
Anyways, moving on from that, It gained critical success, popularity, whatever you can imagine. That movie exploded, and everybody and their kids were into X-Men at that point. Mm-hmm. So they moved on to the second film, which was also directed by Bryan Singer, which is X-Men II. Doesn't really have another name, except for X-Men II.
X2.
Oh, dang. X2 was... X2 is actually one of the top superhero movies of all time.
Yeah?
Yeah, specifically the second one. And I know most of you can't forget about the first scene in X-Men 2, which is Nightcrawler entering the White House.
Dude. So, we were going to get to that, but I was going to ask you who your favorite X-Men was. Mine is Nightcrawler.
Yours is Nightcrawler?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad choice. That's a good choice.
He's just awesome.
Oh, that's a hard question, because as a kid I've always liked Wolverine, but I am a really big fan of Iceman and Colossus here, so it's a hard one for me. Which in that movie they introduced Iceman, Pyro, and Rogue as the three teens. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
By the way, little fun fact on the side: Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yes,
these two are actually characters. I don't remember Iceman.
All three of them were.
Iceman was a character.
Yeah, Iceman was in number 2.
Yeah,
because
that's right. Marvel vs. Capcom.
Sorry. Side note: Marvel vs. Capcom actually started X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and that's where the idea of Marvel vs. Capcom came. But we're gonna backtrack it back to X-Men now. X-Men 2. It was specifically more about Wolverine, and he wanted to get back at Stryker, and Stryker wanted to take down all mutants and created a machine to do so. So basically, the opposite of the first movie. Instead of turning regular people into mutants, this guy wanted to just kill all mutants and have regular people.
Right.
From what I can remember. Which, in the movie, Brotherhood of Mutants and X-Men work together, which is pretty cool. Yeah. It was a really good movie. And then, unfortunately, we got the third one.
Oh my god, unfortunately.
They introduced newer mutants in that movie. Angel Beast was pretty cool. Juggernaut was in that movie. And the kids actually got to do a lot more. Iceman, Rogue, and these guys had uniforms now.
Yeah. 2006. Clarify.
2006.
Because I remember the first film came out 2000, the second came out 2003, and then the third one came out 2006. So it was 3 years apart each one.
Well, that's actually not that bad, especially because back then it took time to make a movie.
Yeah.
And, it's not like how Marvel has the help of Disney now to boot them out. Mm-hmm. This was Fox before they got bought out.
Right.
But yeah, what was the synopsis of that movie? I think it was, I don't remember if even Magneto was the bad guy of that film. To be honest, I don't remember that film. The Phoenix, obviously. Duh. She was the bad guy. Magneto wanted to use her to kill humans, but eventually he couldn't control her. And the only thing that saved her was the love of Wolverine.
The love of Wolverine.
Which, I guess he can get her now since Cyclops dead. But she dies I think she dies at the end. Doesn't he stab her?
I think so. I think she does.
That's how he ends her, right? He stabs her. Yeah, so love.
Romeo and Juliet.
Juliet. And that was the last film that kind of ended that franchise of the actors you guys... Well, no. Okay, might not be the last one. I'll bring it up later. This time they wanted to sort of... Not reboot the franchise, but then they wanted to do how they started and stuff like that, which is basically X-Men First Class, where we got new actors and a younger generation of people. This was a whole new story, which I know a lot of X-Men fans were probably disappointed that they went the route of Mystique is Charles Xavier's step-sister or half. It was something weird that they wanted to put Mystique as a good guy throughout the film and be his sister or whatever, have a little brother and sister thing. But the most interesting part for me about First Class and all the newer films like that was the friendship / nemesis-ness that Charles Xavier and Magneto had.
Yeah.
I think those movies really brought it out.
Well, that was, because that's when they stepped back into more of their upbringing and
it was
and how they came to be who they were.
They were the most two interesting characters of that film, hands down. They introduced a couple other people as well. So the villain of that film was Sebastian Shaw, played by Kevin Bacon. And I think he wanted to start the war with Cuba or something. I don't remember what his deal was in that movie.
The dance war?
The dance war. There we go. Actually, the way Magneto kills him was pretty gruesome.
Yeah,
with the quarter. He just... And then moving on from that, we actually got one people consider one of the best X-Men films of all time. And this is what ended the last actors. X-Men Days of Futures Past.
Yep.
And I love X-Men Days of Futures Past. Such a good film, which introduces the old actors and the new one, which is based on an extremely important comic book in X-Men history, because X-Men Days of Futures Past is really, really important, where Wolverine travels to the past to try to save the future from creating Sentinels. Sentinels were killing all the mutants. And that movie was great. They brought back a lot of old actors. The way that Wolverine handled all the new actors was extremely funny, especially because he knew how Magneto was.
Right.
He was pretty, he knew he was going to become a bad guy. But that's basically the premise. Actually, Peter Dinklage played the bad guy in that film. He played the guy who created the Sentinels. I remember that.
Peter Dinklage, such a cool guy.
He's a really good actor.
Yeah, he is.
Hey, I want to see him in more stuff.
Then you have, Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, and the New Mutants.
Yeah, we're gonna
sprinkle a little bit in there, but we don't really talk about those.
So I understand what they try to do, because as you see with the success of X-Men Days of Futures Past, which was one of the best stories in X-Men history, they want to touch on another best story, which is Apocalypse, and then another best story, which was Phoenix. And I understand that, but the way they did it was kind of bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of stuff that happened where I was like,
yeah, it's about at the same level as DC's Batman vs. Superman, Justice League.
oh, damn, is it going to upset a bunch of DC fans here?
Sorry.
So, yeah, essentially you have all three Wolverine films.
Martha.
You have...
Sorry.
How do you know that name? Anyway, yeah. So those are the last three films, because Dark Phoenix came out last year, and then it's basically over now, because what was it? After Dark Phoenix is bought by Marvel.
Yeah.
So now we got to see if what Marvel Studios does with the X-Men franchise. Who, new actors, new storylines. And so far as we've seen, Marvel never fails. So there's a really high hope for the X-Men franchise.
Here's hoping.
For the films, yeah. I'm hoping they do good.
Okay.
Because the last three were...
Yeah. Yeah. We're looking at you, Marvel. Our hope's right on
I'm
you.
trusting you.
Well, yeah. So, that was our ride for today, and hopefully y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, 20 years, guys. 20 years anniversary.
Comment down below. Tell us who your favorite X-Men is, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And hopefully you'll take a ride with us next time here in The Passenger Seat.